We're back. Thank you to BetterHelp, I think. I don't even know. What's the date today?
The 15th.
The 13th.
The clocks went ahead.
Oh, he means when it's going to... Yeah, I got all fucked up this morning. I didn't know what was going on.
It's my favorite. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
If the snow was gone, it'd be the most wonderful time of year. I'm still shocked, but yeah, it's going to be bright out late.
Kamar, I was at home yesterday at like 6, and it was still light out enough that I was like, when the clock... this is great. Snow or not.
Are we agreed it should be done away with?
Yeah, this is probably the last year.
Don't you feel it's better when you get up in the morning and it's dark and you feel like you're beating the day? I feel so much more productive.
You're asking someone who's never
I
been
was
awake
going to
during
say,
the morning.
Sorry.
He
What are you doing
doesn't
here?
see that.
Read the room.
Yeah, come on, man. If I'm awake in the morning, it's because I'm still awake. There was no BetterHelp ad, so thank you to no one. Thank you to the Patreons. Come on, can I get a name and a number?
1789 Tom Papa. The bread man.
The bread man.
What if his bread's just okay? Like there's other bakers out there. So makes better
Joe doesn't have the gall to tell him.
He's got the television.
He's flying home to bake it and then bring it to Austin, and Joe can't just be like, "Listen, dude, it's okay."
Enough with the bread. That's what Joe would have to tell him.
Yeah.
Did you ever, when you were young, think about smuggling drugs?
Like as an occupation?
Well, maybe. Carry this suitcase and make $30,000.
No, I didn't think of that. I once figured out a way to get something
In a loaf of bread?
over the train.
And over the border?
Like, yeah, the very minimalist way of smuggling. And it wasn't intended to sell, so it wasn't really, it was for personal use only.
Because there's certain things that would be very easy to smuggle. Weed is the least. I think.
Weed's the hardest.
Like,
like smuggling pills and stuff,
Yeah.
that would be pretty easy, I imagine.
Pills and powders.
I mean, it depends how much you're smuggling and what orifice you're putting it in.
Well, I think that's if you're committed, shove it up your ass.
Well, can like dogs smell pills? If you shove a bunch of like a Ziploc of pills up your butt.
Are you thinking of smuggling? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm thinking of smuggling pills. Do you think I could shove them in a bag up my ass and not have a dog smell them?
Yes.
Yes, they would smell them.
They would not
yes,
smell them.
Would,
They would not smell them.
But we're talking about this because that chick got caught with fentanyl
Yeah.
in her.
Yeah.
So why would it not smell the pills up your
There
ass?
must have been some suspicion or something. But
So you're saying the dog was like, I don't like the cut of this lady's jib?
I think another factor I'm leading to is the whole point of smuggling is acting like you're not smuggling.
Yeah.
Like the pressure. So maybe she was sweating and like looking around, and
they can smell pills. Dogs can be trained to smell just about
inside
anything.
your body, in a condom or whatever you're using.
Do you think the condom is just the one thing?
Yes, up your ass.
I mean, again,
Eat some
dogs smell
McDonald's.
asses all day.
Eat some
That's like they're not
McDonald's.
they're blind to ass smell.
Okay, so I asked, can dogs smell pills up your ass? Okay, just so you know, we're all on the same line here.
I'm glad you're not going over the border anytime soon.
Well, they can smell your sweat and tell you what you had for breakfast last week. So, yeah, I think they can smell it up your ass.
Not if it's wrapped
Hold
up
on,
and
hold
sealed
on.
in fucking saran wrap like a little dick.
It says the dog can tell you what you had for breakfast last week.
It says, and the real answer is, dogs can smell your sweat and tell what you had for breakfast last week. Their noses are so sensitive that they can pick up hold on, let me see the rest of it.
Okay, there's no scientific test that they could run where they could be like, this dog knows what you ate for whatever. Why am I even arguing this stupid shit?
So, yeah, apparently they can smell it up your butt, Kumar.
Okay. Well, I've never. I'm sure I thought about it before I was 18. You just hear stories about carrying stuff or transporting something, and the penalty to you is so low.
If you had to smuggle something, how would you want to do it? What would be your given? Do you want to swallow baggies? Do you want to shove things up your butt?
No, briefcase. Thank you.
I think
that's not an option.
Okay, sure. But just remember,
think
like if you
sewn
have
in
it
a
in a jacket, that's all like you have a way better chance of getting caught that way.
Do you know that for sure?
I think it's harder for a dog to sniff something up your butt, let's say, than in your jacket.
What I said to Simon, to Matt, while you're looking that up, is the person's demeanor doing it is like 90% of the smuggle.
Yeah,
Listen,
you have to have a good poker face.
At least if it's in your jacket, the dog can't also tell you what you had for breakfast.
Well, they get that through your sweat, so yeah, they could.
Thanks, asshole.
And you'd be sweating a lot, Maddie, because you were wearing that jacket. So, just point, Simon.
We got another story or anecdote from Great Woods Performing Arts Center, where Neil Young or the Beating the Scene was mentioned. That was refreshing.
What did we get? I'm sorry, I missed that whole.
They were talking about smuggling,
job.
and he said, "When I worked there, people smuggled booze all the time. We had to put in this thing, and then we just take it home." It was just
They probably then used that booze to accelerate the fires on the lawn, which eventually led to Joe.
Dude, I have
running,
pulling the hoodie and bouncing.
I have a great security story. One night at Ritual, it's like 3:40 in the morning. We're all downstairs. Like tips are counted, cash out's done. We're all having drinks and smoking weed. One of the bouncers sitting beside me, rolling this cannon, and this dude that I know is like a real hard case in Ottawa. He sits to my left. The bouncer's to my right. He's like, "Yo, you guys mind if I hit that joint with you?" I was like, "It's not mine, it's his." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess, sure, whatever." And then he goes, "One of these fucking idiot bouncers took my fucking weed, took my weed tonight when I came in." And the guy goes, "Oh, this is your weed?" Dude, it was so fucking awkward. We're literally rolling this guy's weed up.
Bitch.
That's amazing.
There was so much tension smoking.
That's amazing. Do I know the person who got their weed taken?
No, you don't know.
Okay.
No, because those people would be like on the inside. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like
They would have known.
Yeah.
Why would they get checked? Yeah. Gotcha.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
That's good stuff. Have you ever been? I'm sure this isn't your note. I'll let you get there. Go ahead.
Hold on, back to drug dogs real quick.
Thing.
I don't know if there's a difference. I assume there is between an agriculture dog and a drug dog. But I accidentally smuggled a 1/4 ounce of weed to and from Ireland through Philadelphia. And when I was in Philadelphia, an agriculture dog walked by me. And now again, I didn't know I had the weed on me, so there's no sweating to be done. But it walked right by me, and I later on found out that I had 7 grams of weed.
They're designed to smell certain things.
This is what I'm saying. An agriculture dog might be different.
I'm surprised, though, that a dog that they had in the airports wouldn't just be trained to smell the things they're looking for in the airports. But you're right. If it was only looking for carrots, then...
Or any agriculture. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Either way, I definitely... 2 weeks later when I found the weed in my jacket, I was like, wow, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, that is hugely idiotic. I wonder what happens to you if you... Where were you going?
I went from Toronto to Philadelphia.
Yeah, so Philly to where?
Ireland. Dublin.
Okay. Go on, Kamar.
And then back with the weed on me the whole time.
Well, the next question was for you mainly, Simon. Have you ever golfed?
I've never golfed. No.
But you've been on a golf course?
Alibaba's.
That was the only time you've ever been on a golf course?
That was the only time I've ever been on a golf course.
Did you see a golf tournament? I think that's what Jamie was referring to. Because like crazy shit happens on
I've seen videos.
Golf courses. Yeah. But I don't think they happen on courses where it's just people playing. I think these are all stories from golf tournaments because there's a level of golf tournaments. Like everyone's drunk, carts are flipping.
Yeah.
It can get rowdy.
I spent a lot of time at the hunt club, but never on the course.
That's a beauty.
Well, my grandfather was the president, and my uncle's a member.
You could get me around there.
I could get you around there, yeah.
Get me around there.
Okay, no problem. I told you, my uncle's still a member to this day.
I only want a golf top tier.
The Royal's better, isn't it?
Royal's great. Amazing.
You probably would have been able to pay it off in a fine, Maddie, but you could have gotten up to a year in prison.
The worst part, Simon, it wasn't one bag. It was one bag with 7 individually weighed out grams.
You're definitely going to prison.
I mean, again, I would have easily...
Irish prison.
Yeah.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen on a golf course?
What's the craziest thing
Have you ever seen a fist fight?
I've seen a bear on a golf course.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Have I ever seen a fist fight on a golf course? I have never seen a fist fight on a golf course.
I don't think I've ever seen a fist fight.
I've been party to people trying to pick fist fights.
in a tournament or just out of?
No, just being dipshits.
That's horrible.
Have you seen the video of Nate Dogg filming a video on a golf course? And there's like a huge gang fight breaks out, and Nate Dogg swinging a golf club at this guy, chasing him down the
No
green.
way, really?
I'll show you the video
crazy.
after.
It is such a weapon.
The golf
You can
club?
kill.
Always
You
say
will
a
kill someone with a golf club.
club is a weapon because of the weight.
Oh,
When
dude,
you know
would
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you'd kill somebody.
Shatter the skull.
It's so funny in Jackass when they're out on the golf course.
It's one of
with
my
the
favorite
air
things ever.
horns and those
We're about-
guys on the
Sorry.
guys on the tee box.
Simon, when they approach,
Turns around and hits the ball.
the best part of the whole
fucking
thing,
great.
the best part of the whole thing is they approach the bush and they get up to Johnny Knoxville and they go, "What's your fucking problem?" And he goes, "I have bursitis." And but even better, he goes, "You have bursitis?" He goes, "What the fuck does that?" And he goes, "So what?" He goes, "It helps."
Just doesn't make any sense. I watched the whole thing on side note. I watched the whole thing on like kind of like the life of Bam.
Oh, Majera.
In one of my Margera, yeah, in one of my rabbit holes.
That's tough,
What a
eh?
sad
It's a
fucking
tough ride. Hopefully it gets better.
It's sad, man.
He's still young.
I mean, it's just
He's in a bad
he's in a
way
bad
right now.
spot. Yeah.
You know what the problem really was is like if he had just been a skater, like if he had just stayed a skater and partied a bit, he'd probably still be skateboarding. He was an incredible skateboarder.
That's what they said. They said that MTV told him when he was filming, or that's what this thing said anyways, when he was filming Viva La Bam,
Yeah.
like in that part of his life, they were like, the skateboarding in your show is not tracking with the audience, lose it. So he lost it, and that was like the one thing that was giving him something to like strive for.
His higher
And without
power.
it, he lost it. And then he tried to go back to skateboarding and couldn't do it, which was like a huge blow to his ego. Or maybe not even to his ego, but like he needed that to be able to, and then he couldn't do it anymore. It's just fucking sad.
I remember his introduction to skateboarding in 411 magazine. He was like 11 years old and he was in his bathtub covered in suds, and Phil did the whole interview. Phil was like, "I'm Bam Margera. I'm 12 years old." And that was the first time I ever saw Bam. Dude, he was such a good skateboarder. It was fucked. And now he's
It was a crazy little thing though, because they talked a lot about like how Big Brother was Jackass. It just transferred.
Yeah, it was Jeff
into
Tremaine, yeah.
the whole thing, and like
I also remember the video where Johnny Knoxville shot himself.
yeah,
tased
that was
himself
where
and
he
pepper
first
sprayed
came
himself.
out, and just the whole thing. Like I didn't realize, this is how stupid I was. I didn't realize like so Bam had CKY,
yeah.
and that was like half of the Jackass dudes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other half came with like Johnny Knoxville. So it's just weird, and those guys weren't in the newest movie.
No.
The biggest
That crew, like it's
CKY, yeah. Brandon DiCamillo, Rake Yone.
one more. It's
Well, there's also Novak, and
Novak
Dunn
in-
is dead.
No, but it was what's his name? He has like a faux hawk in one of the movies.
Not Danger Aaron.
No, I forget his. I'll figure it out. Don't. We won't get stuck on this. Go ahead, come on.
It's the magic of like how we've all surrendered to memes. Like no one can say, "Yeah, memes are the worst."
Yeah, because there's always one that gets
Just
you.
one that gets you, and it's a rerun on different pages, which I find annoying. But it just has.
It's when they're in broken English that I'm like, this is the Russians.
Well, those have really slowed down.
They have, but
Noticed
they're
that?
still out
have
there.
You've noticed that though, haven't
course,
you?
yeah.
I only noticed it because I read a comment on it, but I feel it's the internet's calmed down a bit.
I found it crazy. I don't know if it's true, but I saw an article this week that YouTube or Facebook is now allowing you to openly call for violence against Russia or Russians.
What?
Yeah, that was.
Danger Aaron is.
That's what I said, Danger Aaron.
Okay, yeah.
But he wasn't part of the CKY crew.
He wasn't. I thought he
No,
was.
he came with Knoxville and
Oh,
them.
okay. Well, there you go.
You don't know this, but they all had. Bam sued them. No one knows this. Steve-O sued them.
Dude, Jackass.
Yeah,
Sued
they had a
Jackass?
massive contractual disagreement going into the shooting. And,
of the movie.
yeah.
Oh no way.
Well, because Steve-O was like, guys, I'm like a big draw here.
Yeah.
Like, all these new guys are no one. It's Johnny, and like other than Johnny Knoxville,
For the latest
I'm
one.
the guy. Yeah.
Interesting. And Steve-O is doing well, sobered up, and has a big YouTube presence, has his live show. Like, Bam Margera, I think, could even still now resurrect his career. If he sobered up and went back to, like, doing pranks and stuff, like, maybe not.
No, not dude. You can't be like 40 doing pranks. It doesn't translate. Like
He could be doing a podcast, but he's got to be doing it in a healthy way. Like,
yeah,
They said that the reason this jackass works is because it's the old guys doing the same thing, but that only works for one movie. You know,
you can't keep doing it.
This is
He's
what I'm saying.
55.
And your body can't handle it. Like you just will.
and there's
not
a new
be
breed now
able
on
to,
YouTube, just killing it.
Listen, Knoxville said that the only reason they did this movie was because he'd spent 10 years writing down ideas on napkins, and he didn't think anyone would come back. And then Tremaine was like, "Do you think?" And he was like, "Well, I have all these," but he was like, "This is it." He was like, "We run through the best of these, and I'm tapping out." But I assume what they'll do is like Jackass Presents, and they'll find the new generation of.
Well, they did it. They had a bunch of, new people in it.
Yeah.
There's that girl comedian there.
I didn't see it. Did you see
I
it?
think she hung out at the Comedy Store. I didn't see it, Matt, but I know who the players are in the movie, you know. You all right there, Kay?
Oh, yeah, no, I was waiting to stop talking about Bam Margera.
We're done.
Who was going to come up. And
Was he?
That's what I was trying to say, but
And I assume
You beat me to
I
it.
assume that did you see that Nelk Boys?
Oh, I thought that was in post show.
Okay,
This is-
sorry.
this
Go
is
ahead.
both
We'll
post-show
pass
things.
Pass on.
then they talked about the war.
Okay.
And so where are you guys now? The more you watch, the less you know.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of information, and I feel well. I now know where you get all your talking points from. You watch
so?
Jimmy Dore.
Jimmy
and
Dore
then
helps.
just regurgitate exactly what he says. And I didn't watch it, so I'm like, wow, Kamar has fresh takes. You know what I mean? But then I went back because I've been rabbit holing, so I've been watching like past episodes of Jimmy Dore,
no,
and I'm like,
oh, no,
shit,
no.
he said that 2 weeks ago. Oh, what's the day? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense.
There are no such thing as a hot take, but it's the information I feel is credible. The way it's delivered.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Okay, so I've watched a lot of Jimmy Dore now.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Is that credible? Is that as credible as we're going to get?
Yeah. They're using multiple sources. Glenn Greenwald is on all the time. Aaron Mate, all has won awards. All the journalists have credibility. And they're noticeably not celebrities and not making a lot of money. And that's what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, in that case, then yes, I've been watching a lot on the Ukraine.
In the same way Tim Pool just reads the news to you and then puts his spin on it.
Can I tell you something that occurred to me the other day? And it's kind of
Please,
war
please
adjacent. Is so Russiagate. You know, that whole thing.
The hoax?
Whatever you want to call it. The fact that it didn't happen and that they spent 3-5 years, whatever it was, going and going. And at the end, you were like, I don't get this. They're obviously ill-informed, and yet they're still like die hard on this stance. But it's because they were painting a bigger picture, right? Like you can see it now. You have to paint Russia as the boogeyman.
Yes.
It can't just start 2 weeks ago.
Well,
you know what I mean? It has to be a longer.
The powers would love Russia to always be the boogeyman, as we learned from Oliver Stone.
Of course, and they had that for a long time, but then there was
He's
like
back.
this is what I'm saying. So if you were wondering why they spent so much time banging their head against the wall, they weren't banging their head against the wall. That
all
was
a
like
plan.
a calculated.
It's all a plan.
To and look, I don't know right or wrong. I don't. I really couldn't tell you what the right thing is here, but you can absolutely see that they're trying to paint Russia as like, and the Russian people as like lower than,
Yeah. But
because that'll make it easier when you have to fight
Putin,
them.
in my
you know?
opinion, is lower than. There's just, if what he says is what he says, this is how he has to do what he says he's doing. But he wants no NATO in Ukraine, the Donbass region declared independent, and Crimea part of Russia. And I think at this point they should do that. because it's just it's dragging out. It's destroying Ukraine. It's hurting Russian people. Unless you're going to kill him.
Did you see the polls of like the general consensus is that people out there
The richer you are, the more you want
a
war.
no-fly zone?
Oh no, that's not what I saw.
But we did that. Canada did that in Libya.
Declared a no-fly zone?
We enforced a no-fly zone.
Was there a war there?
No, they were just murdering Gaddafi. We were helping them over rebels that have turned it into a failed state, overthrow the country.
No, what I'm saying though is like you've watched, you know, if they declare a no-fly zone there, you're declaring war. That's what happens. It means that any Russian jet that happens to be flying around there gets shot out of the air.
Or has to be forced to leave. We've seen that on Top Gun.
Okay.
They did do that.
I just like people calling for war to me is nuts.
What
man.
about though the snowbirds?
What about them?
They just fly over Ukraine, inspire hope and change.
All right.
Flying the colors, and they have no weapons on them, so there's no reason for any interaction. What I heard is that Texas economy is bigger than Russia, and so he's running out of money. Like
The Texas economy is bigger than Russia.
Russia's, Texas.
The economy of Texas is bigger than the
Putin
entire
has a lot
country
of
of
money, but Russia doesn't.
Of
have
course
a lot
not.
of money.
This is where we get with dictators. I want to do a sketch about his food tasters. Like there's a hall of fame because they all die. I don't think he eats much.
Well, you know that photo you were talking about of Conor McGregor with the proper 12?
Yes.
Yeah, he had that proper 12 tested for poison.
For real.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Always look at his over
Did I
shoulder.
tell you about last week about that clip of Connor and Putin?
That's what I'm talking about. That one, yeah.
It's so funny. And they tell him to take his arm away.
Yeah, and then after the photo, they take the proper 12 and they go get it tested.
Oh, I didn't even know there was a proper 12 in the thing.
Oh,
I think we're talking about two different...
No, they've only met one time.
Okay.
Because the worst thing would be if Putin just does go Scarface. It's all opposite. Like, fuck it!
So do you...
Fuck it!
I don't want to talk about the war. Anyways.
Well, they
go on.
did, and there's an opportunity because we won't talk about it again.
I still have no opinion. I
Yeah.
think it's
No,
largely.
I'm with
I
you.
still
I don't want
believe
an opinion.
most of what we're seeing is propaganda from one side or the other, and I'm not smart enough to decipher what is or isn't. So, all I know is, I hope innocent people aren't dying, which is obviously foolish because they are. And I don't know. I'm obviously not a fan of war. So.
I can guarantee you this. It's very complicated.
Listen, when is geopolitical stuff not incredibly complicated?
No, I'm just saying. And when something is complicated, like there's a lot of different things going on, you know?
In closing, I'll say I do find it very interesting that two countries like super far away from us are at war, and everyone's talking about the U.S. going to war. And I'm like, what? Why? What happened? Like the U.S. is just every time someone goes to war, the U.S. is going to pony up trillions of dollars from
Blame
the
that on the
taxpayers.
media.
I mean,
All I know is that I don't know nothing.
I feel terrible for all of the citizens who are caught up in this. That's
course.
at the whims of like people that
Without that
Dude.
flesh in the game.
But even Russians too. Think about it. We were talking about this earlier. Like you sanction a country that has a dictator. They didn't vote this guy in. Like it's not like in the States. If you sanction the States because of something Biden did, you could say, listen, 50% of you voted this guy in. We don't like what he's doing to the rest of the world. Therefore,
I got you.
And you guys can. If it's a dictator, like the people have no.
Of course, Maddie, and all you're doing is so that normal Russian person who doesn't like what's going on in Russia right now can't get access to their bank accounts. They're going through a struggle. They're going to be resentful against the people, not against Putin. They're going to be resentful against the state. So you're like strong-manning him and creating an enemy for yourself.
Give him the regions and don't put NATO there. Is what I'm saying is the solution, I think.
But then what happens with the next person who decides that they want something?
Taiwan will be taken by China 2024.
Okay.
You heard it here 3 weeks ago on another show.
So what now? You know what I mean? If everybody can just start taking exactly what they want.
Watch, enjoy, be afraid, do something else. It is what it is. Dictator is the most efficient way.
That's one way to end the conversation, I guess.
No, it's carrying it on. A dictator, though, is the most efficient way to like start a plan and try to follow it through, right? Instead of the someone gets hired, they fire everyone he hired. Like back and forth presidents, back and forth
Well,
leaders.
you just can't have anybody like Donald Trump, let's say, was president. I think I said this last week. If he decided he wanted to nuke somebody, I'm sure there's a lot of like people he has to go through.
Checks and
To
balances.
convince, to talk to whatever. Everybody. There's just a natural order of things. He's got nobody to go through. Like, you're the boss.
This is the worst of it, and there's something else you see like, oh, that's the best of it that you just made this happen.
Like,
I wonder if Putin, instead of a life alert, has like just a nuke. You know what I mean? It's
Just right around
just
his
a
neck.
lanyard around his neck under that suit.
Well, you know how we always say like the president can't even find out if there are aliens. Trust me, Putin knows if there are aliens.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
He's a very interesting man.
Weird flex, but okay.
Yeah, I mean that's not where I was going with that one. It was more a power suggestion, but
It will obviously go down in history. However this happens, Putin will be almost in a Hitler, Mao.
well, we have
Lenin.
to see how this finishes before you say
If
that.
we
I
see
Hold on,
anything,
you think that he will go down as a Hitler or Mao type?
I think he'll be
The body counts those guys had were like...
junior.
I just said,
Just as a,
yeah, I
just
think you have to
as
see
a
what
bad world
happens.
leader.
I understand we're not there yet and done with him, but I'm saying if we were using history up till now, you can't argue that Vladimir Putin has killed anywhere near what those two
What if
gentlemen...
he nukes
That's what I was
million
just going to
people
say.
tomorrow?
If
I
he uses
understand.
chemical
Listen,
weapons,
hold
if
on.
he does a lot of things,
I
you
said
know.
history up to date right now.
Right now,
we're
yeah.
using it up to right now. There's no
you're
fucking
I don't
way.
think he
No, you
was.
cannot.
I don't think that's what
You
he was
cannot.
saying, though. I
Yes,
think
of course, if he nukes
when
them.
all said and done,
Our history will paint him as not in there, but infamous. No, not in a positive light. And over
yeah,
there,
we get it.
he may be a god. Like he tried for us. Like who knows what they know?
I would
'Cause
love
they don't know
to
what we know.
know. You know what? I haven't heard Lex speak on this. Has he?
Oh, he's been so somber and depressed.
Oh no,
lately.
I've
His
seen he's
heart
been
is
somber and
pouring
depressed.
out.
But has he like? I wonder if he'd even be a fair.
Like when I said Eeyore energy about what's his name, that's been Lex lately. His energy is fucking...
Well, it's. I mean, I'm sure he's taking a lot of hate right now. People are weird.
I assume he's
They
also got
don't-
relatives over there. That's the
Well,
more prescient issue for
that
him, I
too,
think.
but I also believe that the same way that when COVID first came around, a bunch of Chinese Americans got a lot of flack, whatever.
Sure, you're saying maybe because he's
Paranoid.
Russian.
There are people out there
Yeah, I'm
who
with you.
are like, you are Russian, and I'm probably not going to like you right now.
I mean, the good news is on face value, if you don't know who Lex Friedman is, his name is Lex Friedman. He doesn't sound particularly
Sounds like
Russian.
one of my tribe,
Yeah, definitely does.
which probably isn't a great thing right now either. So
Have you ever seen any of the Buster Keaton footage?
Yeah, a lot of it was forced perspective. They forgot to mention that. Like
It's
it's just
still insane what he did.
yeah. A lot of his stunts were crazy, and they're
Crazy.
They're groundbreaking from a cinematic standpoint. But like a lot of the stuff that looked really dangerous was just trickery of the camera.
The one they were showing though, where he goes out the window, lands on that thing, grabs hold. Is that real? Because
Yes.
that would be the craziest stunt I've ever seen.
I didn't see that
and
one.
that happened how many years ago? Like I cannot believe that was real.
And think about safety protocols. I know there's one where there was a train coming and he swung out on a, they have like a water tower beside an old-fashioned train station, and he swung on the spout that would say pour in, and then jumps down, and then the water pours on him, and apparently like it broke his neck.
Crazy.
I mean, listen, there's two
the first
famous
stuntman.
ones. There's one where he's like hanging off the side of a building, and it's all trickery of the camera.
Yeah.
There's another one
It's,
where
it's actually this way.
no, it's just it looks as if he's hanging over a city, but it's just forced perspective where they've used the camera is set up in a way where he's super close to it, but it looks again. There's also one where he's roller skating, and it looks like he's roller skating on like the balcony where there's no railing, and he's very close to the edge. All they did was have a cutout super close to the camera of what looks like a drop. I don't know. It's all listen. But it's still crazy. Yes, the guy was fucking nuts.
It should be an Oscar.
Stuntman?
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh, okay.
But they're the ones that you don't see. Remember they have the day
Yeah, yeah,
before the
yeah, yeah,
Oscars, the technical Oscars?
You know who doesn't get enough credit?
Nope.
I'll tell you who. Well,
Go on.
crop circles. That's one. They don't
Stop,
get
stop,
enough
stop,
credit.
stop.
No,
This
no.
has nothing to do with the...
Magicians. because like we get it. Most magic isn't real. You know what I mean? But those guys are so fucking amazing. I was watching this thing the other day where it was like some nobody magician, and he ended up with the girl's wedding ring inside. I think it was on Hell's Kitchen, inside the tennis ball, inside a tennis ball thing with the cork, with the can that hasn't been popped. So I get it. It's not magic, that one, but it was amazing regardless. You
Magic
know?
has award shows and conventions, just no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. They care about other things that have no importance. But magic, they're just like, fuck that. And it's because, I think, the debunking of it, you know? There's this whole... So if you believe now, you're like... Or even show like a general... You're stupid. They've created that.
No, I don't think anyone thinks you're stupid. You just like... You're impressed by sleight of hand. For the most part.
I mean, probably there was a concerted effort to make you feel stupid. That's usually what happens when...
So, Big Oil was making you feel stupid for liking magic?
I doubt it was Big Oil.
Okay. It was a concerted effort, you said. So
by I don't know who.
I'm trying to think of who
people trying to hide
anti-magic.
real magic.
The hula hoop industry?
No, I think it was... for real magicians out there, you know?
I'll say this, magic has made me realize that you should only play cards with like a deal, like a house
A
dealer.
casino deck?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not a deck, but just in general. Like, dude, I watched this one the other day where the guy does a casino wash of the cards, deals out 5 blackjack hands, and then deals himself like ace jack of spades. But again,
It's amazing. Mechanics, card mechanics, amazing.
yeah,
Again,
fucking
magic.
bananas.
Like, I know it's not magic, but still totally amazing.
Have you seen the blind guy who's really
He's
good at
getting
it?
so angry.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Blind card dealer?
The sleight of hand guy who's blind?
No, I have never seen
Oh,
that.
so I'll show you. He's nuts.
Interesting.
I mean, again, he's blind, so his whole life has just been touching and playing with cards. The guy's a fuck. But I also wonder if when he was young, people were like, "Yeah, you got it, 8 of hearts."
Well, isn't that the easiest way if like to Braille to cheat? If you know Braille,
Oh,
you
just put it on the
you
card.
can
That's
feel every
interesting,
card. Like that would be the easiest way to be a magician. Anyways, go on.
Cooked onions and garlic just as being sauteed up. I love that smell.
Yeah, it's the
It's just the best.
Was it a bouillabaisse? No, it's
No, not even.
no. It's called something though. It's like
Just garlic or onion.
No, carrot, onion, and
Celery?
Mirepoix.
mirepoix. Thank you.
The Holy Trinity.
Yes.
They need it for every soup.
Interesting though that garlic wasn't really actually from Italy. It was more of like a
Jersey.
I mean,
Yeah.
was that true? They didn't ever check that, did they?
I don't care to fact check it. I'm just listening to these
Yeah,
guys
I'm
because
just
they're
going to say that at every dinner party from now on.
Yeah, of
assuming
course.
it's real.
man, and pay for it later.
Yeah. When I meet a real Italian.
Please, no one ever asks Joe what he does to cook a steak.
Oh my God.
He's really, he turns the chair around, straddles it, and goes, "Look, so this is what I do."
Yeah.
And just mansplains to all of us again the hot skillet. You're around 120, and he's being genuine, but I've had enough.
A little bit of beef tallow. Dude, no one cares.
Oh yeah, flashpoint.
It's true.
It's true. There you go.
And they still don't use it all that much in Italy. They only use it in the south of Italy.
Interesting. Sicilians.
There you go. But they use olive oil. Tom's all butthurt about the baseball lockout.
They're back.
Oh, are they back?
Yeah.
Full season.
Does he not? Oh, wow, there you go.
I think they recorded this like a day, or it happened
It
like the
literally
day after.
happened right
Yeah.
away.
He
After,
he was upset about it. Then Joe goes, "Why? What's going on?" He said, "Well, why? I don't actually know." he just knows he wasn't getting his baseball, and so he's going to get his
Yeah,
baseball.
no, I listened to this episode and then was listening to the radio the next day, and they were back.
It's so weird that like you don't need to know. It's a collective bargaining issue. Some guys want more money. The rich guys don't want to give them more money. That's always what it
Yeah,
is.
you don't need.
You don't
to
need.
know.
You don't need
They're
the
on
details.
strike. That's enough.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Someone who really cared though would say, "Oh, the players want
Yeah.
guaranteed this or whatever." I thought maybe I'm pussy. Their commentary on the soccer riot was a little.
Lax.
It was a little almost poor taste.
Well, Joe hadn't even seen it, so.
He was watching it.
Oh, well, they were watching it.
Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah. Well, they didn't see the one clip that was the absolute worst, which was a close up. I guess they were like
You did decide to watch.
Stuck in a hallway.
For the record, I told you not to watch.
And they are kicking this guy. He is so sorry. They did. Joe showed the picture of that guy lying there, all fucked up. There's live film of how that guy got that fucked up. That is brutal. Like brutal.
Yeah, no, and that's why the laughing about it.
Oh no, yeah, it was in poor taste.
I think they did not realize what was going on,
It's
and
like-
I'm surprised Jamie did not know.
It's laughing. It's like laughing about those people getting trampled at the.
Could you imagine?
No, I
Could you imagine? Oh my! Look, they're carrying signs to carry out dead bodies. Like, yeah,
Dude.
it was a down point for me, and I don't know what they knew.
This week too, there was 2 Europa League games in Sevilla. On Tuesday and Wednesday. So West Ham played Sevilla on Tuesday, and I think it was Eintracht Frankfurt played Real Betis. I might be getting it doesn't matter. The 2 teams that weren't even playing each other, their supporters got into a massive
In the stands?
No, in the streets of Seville.
Well, that's a problem.
Like, the footage is crazy too. It looks like a bunch of crazy Germans aggressively walking down the street with like sticks and bats. And they just get to this like town square, and there's a shitload of West Ham supporters at a pub, and all of a sudden there's just glasses flying into the street.
Wait, hold on a second.
They didn't even play each other.
In Spain, 2 English groups of fans?
No. So listen to this. There's an English team playing a team in Sevilla.
Yeah.
There's a German team playing a team in
I see.
Sevilla.
A German and an English.
But
Gotcha.
here,
Yeah.
they didn't play each other.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
It's crazy. So they were just there playing different teams.
Playing different Spanish teams, and they got into it with each other.
Sports has replaced war. The one thing I wanted to add to the Mexico thing is they banned fans for a year, and the owner has had to sell the team.
Wow.
Yeah, he tried to make. This is the Chelsea guy?
No, Mexico.
That's Roman Abramovich. But they did that happen too. They sanctioned
the
it.
Chelsea guy. So he tried to sell the team, right?
tried to sell it
Because
quick.
he said, me being involved with this team is going to bring nothing but trouble. Which
No,
is
he knew he was getting sanctioned.
obviously. But what he also said was true, because if he was associated with that team, they were not going to have any more money coming through. Like, he's going to lose his team.
Right now, hold on. As of right this second, recording this, Chelsea cannot sell tickets. They cannot sell merchandise.
Because of Swift.
Right now,
Why?
because they have been sanctioned by the UK government, the team of Chelsea.
No, but it's Swift payments.
No, they're allowed to still play, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
They will play, but they cannot sell tickets or merchandise. Right now, the government is talking about giving young, underprivileged kids tickets to the games until they work this out.
Wow, crazy.
But they also took away Swift, which is the payment system.
Yeah.
All business. They're not leaving. They can't accept money for what they're doing. Like, they have no choice.
Well, I just didn't understand why they'd be accepting money with Swift.
But Swift is an international payment system.
But it's like you said, Simon, you're hurting Chelsea as a club. You're hurting their supporters. Do you know what he bought the team for, by the way?
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Now you're turning UK people against you?
I know.
What? Go ahead.
Do you know what Roman Abramovich bought Chelsea for? I think it was 15 years ago or something.
23.
$1 billion.
Oh, no. It was, I think I do know. 6 billion?
No, he bought it for 170 million pounds.
Oh, shit.
Oh, but now it's
And
worth.
right now it is worth $3 billion.
That's
$3
good
billion,
ROI.
Totally
3 billion pounds, I believe, or euros.
so
I
that's
can't
like
remember.
$6 billion.
good ROI.
Yeah, so I was right. Thanks.
That's
But-
great ROI.
At the same time,
Yeah, that's not bad. Play the movie game on that.
Dude.
the Prince of Saudi Arabia
Bought
was able to
Newcastle.
buy Newcastle, who we know had Khashoggi chopped up and carried out a suitcase, who we know is waging a war in Yemen. Like, the world is not what it thinks it is as far as like advocacy for countries going to other countries and fucking shit up. And it's glaring.
Yeah, but it's only actually in soccer that this is an issue. North American teams.
I was going geopolitical.
Yeah, I get it. But what I'm saying is, like, this is a big problem in football because a lot of these football teams now are so valuable that only these, like, oligarchs can buy them.
Well, but hopefully families just
Well,
keep
I mean,
them,
that's the same in all sports.
keep them in the family.
The fucking teams are so expensive. You're only going to have, like,
but Simon-
American oligarchs.
And
buying
every
them,
team,
you know?
a family owns it.
But this is what I'm saying is a lot of them are conglomerates or a family. But you're also forgetting that, like, aside from the Cowboys, the most valuable clubs in the world are all football. PSG, Man United, Liverpool,
Joe said it.
Real
it's the
Madrid.
number one sport in the world.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is, like, outside of Jerry Jones, most North American teams,
Small potatoes.
$1 billion bucks will get you the team.
Well, how much did that guy who said he likes his girl fucking black chicks?
Yeah,
3 billion or 2 billion to sell their Clippers for?
Oh, do you know what he bought the team for?
Probably
$100
nothing.
bucks?
125,000.
And a
It
handshake?
was $10 million, I think.
Yeah, fuck yeah, I did.
Isn't that crazy? The punishment for him saying something racist was making $3 billion.
Yeah, I do that. I used to do that on stage.
It's so
I said,
obscene.
"Someone
I know,
cancel
but
me."
He is like,
Oh,
the
man.
money doesn't mean anything to him. It's being told what to do.
I get it. That's not the.
We all get it.
I'm just saying though, like we work. We
Imagine
work
that's a
in weird
slap.
ways.
On
Yeah,
the,
it's
imagine
a-
that's a slap of the wrist.
Yeah.
Oh, but it is.
We operate in a very backwards kind of system.
Do you guys believe sport was designed to replace war?
Yes. I think it was designed to exactly
Team
as
sport,
that.
especially team sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good way to get like a lot of energy and aggression out in like a healthier, for the most part, a healthier manner.
But again, they used to do it with fighting. You would put your best swordsman up against the best swordsman of a different clan to decide something, or right? Like
And
that
human
just
nature, it
translated.
carries over into the fans of the sport,
Yeah, well,
as we just talked about.
obviously, yeah.
I heard this soccer player the other day telling an old story. He was like, I played this game with this guy who was notoriously dirty, like always fucking hacking dudes. Like, cause back before it was like well televised, soccer was disgusting. Like just all injuries. Just I'm gonna injure this guy. His season is done. I'm going for it. He tells the story about this guy who takes the field. He ends up kicking this guy in the face during the game. And then after the game, he's talking to him. And he's like, what are you doing tonight? And he's like, oh, me and the guy I kicked in the face. I'm taking him and his wife out to dinner. Like, we'd planned it a couple weeks ago. And he's like, what are you talking about? You kicked him in the face. And he was like, oh, it's just a game. What are you talking about? Like, that's how we
It's
do.
like Coyote and Sheepdog.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, Hal. Hey,
Yeah. Oh,
hey,
hey,
Sam. I was going to ask you, so West Ham, that was the team that got in the riot with the Germans?
Yeah.
So was that like a firm, do you think? Like, was that a hooligan thing, or was that... Because I thought that was done. I
Well,
thought
first
they
of
had
all,
rid that from-
all the West Ham supporters were just drinking at a pub. It didn't look like they were. It didn't look like. And again, I'm going off of the one video I saw, so no disrespect to the German fans. I don't know, but from the video, it looks like they're just sitting at a pub as a group doing what English people do.
So, am I wrong to say that there are no more hooligan crews like
There's laws
there
in place
used
that
to be
they can't gather and stuff, but there still are.
There are still
Firms,
firms.
that's what
We
they're
just
called.
don't know. Yeah, it's such a crazy
sure,
subculture, man.
for sure.
I don't know if you've
Let's-
ever watched any of those
I have, yeah.
documentaries.
They're gangs,
or the-
though.
But Simon,
for lack of a better
what they
word.
are, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they also have security protocols in place where they let the away fans out first.
There's stuff, yeah. There's
And
stuff.
it's
No,
like
they
a-
have to do certain
That's
things
what I'm
for
saying.
sure. But my question is, like, was this a firm that was down there?
I don't believe
or
it
was
was.
this like just a bunch of fans and things got totally out of hand, you know?
Like I said, the thing that fucked me up the most is it's not like they played each other.
Yeah.
Like, I understand when teams clash and there's some...
Here's my thinking though, Matt. What if, like, I'm just using my imagination here. This was like a hooligan gang. They
Yeah.
were down there watching their team from England.
Yeah.
The German hooligan gang was
Yeah.
there watching their team from Germany.
Yeah.
You know how that stuff works in the wires. You know, they hear about them.
Yeah.
They decide, like, we're going to settle this fucking beef
Maybe,
we have from
yeah.
something else, or who knows, man.
Well, it'll be interesting. The World Cups this year, and the Olympics are World Cups of Qatar. There'll be no trouble. There'll be no
Oh,
trouble
you're
in the streets.
You're going to get hung or caned, yeah.
Let's keep this rolling. The NFL player that got suspended for a year, $1,500. That's how much he bet.
That's insane. $11 million.
So it's like making an example of something that they will not have.
What happened? Sorry, I missed this.
So an NFL wide receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. Am I correct?
Don't
Okay.
ask me. Yes.
He got suspended 1 year by the NFL this week for gambling on an NFL game. He was off that week, like injured, or he wasn't playing. And yeah, like Kamar said, I think he bet $1,500, and he's now lost out on $11 million in salary for next year.
And you don't think that's right?
It's just harsh, but it's reality. Sport cannot have any. You can't.
Yeah, the
Zero
NFL shield, the
tolerance policy.
shield has to remain
Yeah.
untainted. I was thinking about it a lot this week. Like, Pete Rose is a weird one, especially because you can't, as a manager, be making, like, think about it like this. If you know you have a long road schedule ahead of you for the week, you can't be using 3 relief pitchers because you've bet on the game, where you would normally just be using 1.
Well, Pete Rose is the perfect example of how, like, even though he was betting for his own team to win,
it can fuck up.
It's when he doesn't bet, it's things he doesn't even know. Like, there's so much more to it.
It's just like
It fucks
Pelosi
things
watching what the moves Pelosi does.
I mean, listen.
Exactly, and that's why she should never be able. No politician should be able to be.
What a great
practicing in
analogy,
the
though, if
stock
you're trying to
market.
explain this to someone.
What were we just
Politics
talking
is
about?
sport.
I totally forgot.
We were
The sport
talking
end.
about them not being able to.
No, see, we totally forgot. What were we just talking about? The sports before you brought up fucking Pelosi.
NFL players suspended
Yeah.
1 year.
Oh
for
no, it's the
$50
gambling.
bet.
Okay, so we always use
Not betting on yourself.
We always use the fighter analogy, which I think is a different one. Like if a fighter was going to bet on themselves, there's
only
no,
one
there's
outcome.
really no
Very
conflict of interest
But
there.
there is, if you bet on yourself every night and then you say, "Oh, I'm not betting on myself this week,"
Yep.
is that because you don't feel good?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not sure that you're going to
Too
win.
much information.
Okay, but stop. If Floyd,
Zero betting
hold
across
on.
the board.
If Floyd Mayweather bets $1 million on himself every fight for his entire career, do you have a problem with that?
He has probably.
Of course, he probably has. Yes.
I do, because of what I just said. I had never thought about it before, but it's the times even that you don't bet. It's
but-
not when you bet.
But I'm just saying, if Floyd Mayweather across the board always bet,
Fine, that's fine then.
because I'm with you. This
Yeah,
is what I,
that's fine.
Here's what I thought too: is like this guy. See, I'm your average bettor. I don't have the information. Like I have access to the internet. That's where I get my sports information. This guy's in the locker room. So he could even be like, you know what? I was in the locker room this week and our quarterback was vibing, man. Him and his wife they just got back from vacation. He was vibing. Him and the wide receiver really feeling each other. Like he now has information that I don't have, where I could be like the Falcons. I'm never taking the Falcons this week, but he's like we're a 7-point
TMI.
underdog.
Well, think about Pete Rose, okay? He could be working guys extra hard in practice. He could.
yeah.
There are so many ways he can influence.
No, but like I just said, forget practice. It's a game of pitchers too. That's like a big thing. And if you know that you have tons of money that you've bet on your team, the Reds, to win, and it's a tie ball game in the 9th, you might use a relief pitcher where maybe if you had no money on it, you'd be like, this guy's still got a good arm. You know what I mean? And then you use up 2 relief pitchers.
You have to make sure that there's no chance you're going to lose instead of riding that guy out to see. Is what
Exactly.
You're saying.
Well, because you can affect the next game too. Like that's the problem is.
No, the whole thing. There can be no betting. They're just zero across the board if you're a player or a coach or anything like that.
I mean, listen. In Pete Rose's day, those guys were
ref.
making like $50,000 a year. It made a little more sense to me. This guy was going to make $11 million next year. You don't need to make a $1,500.
Oh, it's like why you drive up weed up to Florida for your cousin.
Yeah.
When you're just about to get in.
Yeah, I know.
Why did he do it? What was
Gambling
his response?
junkies.
No,
People
but what
are-
was his response? He must have been asked that exact question.
I mean, again, he said
a $1,500
listen,
bet.
he said he was like, I wasn't active at the time. I was away from the team. I made a bet. It was one bet. Like, I think the thing too, Simon, is this guy didn't, like, for me, this guy wasn't betting millions of dollars. Like, he obviously wasn't trying to juke the system. If we had found out this guy put $10 million down and won 30, you know what I mean? That's a little bit different. A $1,500 bet.
Yeah, it's just a zero tolerance.
I understand.
And I mean, obviously, I heard someone say he bet $1,500, and I mean, that's all it was. It wasn't a big move, like you said. I'm gonna do. There's a bunch here, but we can do it in the post show. There was a point though where they went into comedies and just dropped every movie you can imagine. So we really have our pick of the litter today. But I was thinking about Something About Mary.
It's the JRE movie game. The time has come again. For Matt and Simon to rack the brains to guess the budget in the box office. We all know they won't guess the year, and the Patreons are the real winners here at the JRE movie game. Come on, take it away, baby.
It's the movie game where Simon and Matt go head to head to find out what year a movie came out, how much it cost to make, and how much made in the box office. This week we're doing There's Something About Mary. But we could have done End of the World, Step Brothers, Talladega Nights, Superbad, Revenge of the Nerds, 16 Candles, Animal House, Kingpin, Deadpool. But I chose Something About Mary, because I know both of you watched it, didn't have to ask, and have that awkward moment. Starring Cameron Diaz, Matt Dillon, Ben Stiller, Lee Evans, and Chris Elliott. He's always around funny stuff.
Lee Evans. I haven't heard that name in forever. He
He's
was a fucking
always around
hilarious
funny
comedian.
stuff.
Who is Lee Evans?
He's this English comedian. He was he had like a super awkward stage presence.
No, but who was he in Something About Mary?
Oh, I don't
He's a
remember.
British guy with the...
Yeah, he's real jerky.
He pretended he was like...
Oh, I know who he is. He
Yeah.
had the crutches.
The best.
He was pretending he was.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
the star of the movie.
Yeah,
in
Lee Evans.
schlubs.
Yeah,
He was
great.
cutting in on
It was
schlubs.
fucking hilarious.
Okay, I'm ready with a year.
Interesting
if you are.
thing.
I am
Hold
too.
on to that. It's directed by the Farley brothers. And they should
Fairly.
have mentioned that Fairly. Classics. I hope they have something coming down the pike.
I have
Okay,
98.
boys.
I have 94.
Release date July 15th, 1998.
Wow, nice
We're
work,
in.
Maddie.
We're in contention.
Wow, so much pressure
excited.
now. Fuck.
But yeah, this also spurned comedy movies, and then I was gonna say Jackass. I think I haven't seen it yet, but it's got to be a scripted to be a comedy movie. Jackass
No,
is a
Jackass
reality
is a
movie.
comedy movie.
Yeah, R-rated. I guess you just gotta hurt yourself. You can't hurt anyone else. As in the idea of making fun of people. Do you ever see I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
No.
Oh, Matt, your life is gonna be so much better. Do you see it?
I have.
There's a pimp who's got shoes, but they have goldfish in them. And he gets out of prison, and he has to put on his old... He goes to prison for whatever amount of time. Then he gets out of prison with his old shoes on.
That's how he got led into prison.
He's walking down the street, and everyone's just laughing at him. And because he's trying to pimp walk, but because he's so dated, be like, what is he wearing? And he starts running faster, and then one of the shoes smashes.
What's this movie called?
I'm going to get you, sucker. It's Keaton Our Ways.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen Pootie Tang?
Yeah, of course. Didn't Louis C.K. write that?
Louis C.K. wrote
Yeah.
Pootie Tang. But that's one of the most underrated comedies, but I don't think you can go back to it. The first time you see it, it's so outrageous. Okay, guys.
Simon, you go first.
So I said it cost $17 million to make, and it grossed $225.
We're not too far off. I said 22.8 to make and 278.4 at the box office.
I want to give this to you. $23 million to
Wow.
Okay, well
nice.
I was 200 grand off.
make. $369.9
No, I
million.
don't get it.
I go on and give it to you.
Wow,
though.
that's a big movie, man.
I was gonna go over I wasn't gonna go 369. I was gonna go just over 3, and then I thought to myself, that seems
If you had
obscenely
gone
high.
over 3, we would have given it to you.
Try.
Yeah, I didn't, and
for
I don't
sure.
deserve it.
I want to
I
give
lost.
it to you anyways.
No,
man.
no, I lost.
No, but you got the year
Yeah, I got the year and I got the budget.
within
Within
$50,000.
200 grand, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I want to give.
But
that
still,
to you.
I was like 100 million off the box office. So we don't do that here.
Yeah,
we don't
as
give
much
out
as you
fucking-
want to,
Yeah,
Kamar,
we don't
but-
give out participation medals.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
JREE.
You guys are honorable, man. Integrity.
Are we done with Tom Papa?
Just one thing I wanted to say is just in the vein of movies, they were saying you can't make any movies anymore. I'm sure something will come out, and also that it's the gemstones. Like it's R-rated comedy at a movie level.
There's still tons of comedy. Joe's nuts.
yeah.
It just movies.
He's busy and doesn't watch everything.
I think he's forgetting too that movie production in general has not been what it used to be. Most movies now are giant Marvel movies, big block, but like they're I don't know. There's not a lot of room for. It seems like comedy has moved platforms.
Bridesmaids, that was a funny comedy.
Bridesmaids was
But
fucking
that's
hilarious.
15 years ago.
No, Bridesmaids was not 15 years ago.
10 years ago, probably.
Well,
was probably 10 years
let's find out while we're here, and then we'll wrap this up.
All right.
Um,
By the way, I fucking love soccer. I know they were talking about.
all year round.
I know they were talking about fake soccer fans.
Yeah.
I might be one. I don't know.
I'm getting prepared to be a fake soccer fan. I'm not going to
Oh, you're the fair weather.
I
I
will
got you,
overpronounce
yeah.
countries' names.
I can watch any sports finals pretty much. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's enough on the line to make that exciting, regardless of whether you like the sport
Yeah.
or know the sport.
And
or
if you have some
whatever.
money that with another team does another
Look,
team, it's a much better
The
day.
Olympics is a perfect example of that, right? Like, you will get into watching fucking
You should be
figure skating.
Imagine Olympics brought betting into it.
You can bet on
You
the
can bet
Olympics.
on the
What are you
No,
talking
Olympics.
about?
but no, it was Olympics running it.
Oh,
So they had all the money wins.
All the lines were up on the TV as you were watching the
hilarious.
sports.
Exactly, 2011. So it was 11 years ago.
wow.
Not quite 15. Okay, there's a couple keynotes I do want to touch on, but we'll wrap it up to get to the.
Well, what were the notes? I'd like to hear.
I'll do it in the post show. Well, I'll do it. I'll revisit it. We'll get stuck on it. We got to move on. Rate it.
I give it a 3.
I give it a 3.
Well, without hearing what I'm missing, can I see?
Did
the
you
notes
listen to the
that-
episode?
I did, but
So
I
you
don't.
need to see
I don't
his-
fucking remember, man. There were 3 episodes this week.
Okay. Oh,
Hold on. You're saying 3 is a load where you can't remember?
1 is a load. I can't remember.
I'll say this: Joe talking about girls do like dad bods, and Joe sounds gay. No, girls want pecs and defined
Did definitely-
triceps.
Yeah.
And they want that pelvic, and they want to see those. Like, girls like floppy guys because it makes them feel confident about their bodies.
First of all,
There's a nice medium.
they did a study that shows that by and large, women are happier when they are the more attractive person in the relationship.
Yes, and they want someone who's smart and funny.
And money. That helps too.
Smart and fun. It's 2 out of 3 though.
Oh, yeah.
Can get you so
Yeah,
far.
it's true. Yeah.
That's what I found.
Joe is getting that new werewolf. That's the only thing worth mentioning there.
Don't go Chussel moving back to LA.
I mean, we didn't.
Joe
They
seemed hurt.
didn't confirm that.
I guess
they
so, I
both
guess
think
it's
he's moving to where they live. So
Yeah, you're right. We won't have to revisit it. Oh, piss and vinegar. That's a weird saying. Came from the 1920s, apparently.
Did you rate it?
no,
Yeah, I did.
I'm rating it.
Oh.
I'll give
What
it
did you give
a
3.
Well, I thought this was more entertaining than that,
Mr. Beast,
so I will
interesting.
give this a 3 point. What did I give that? A 3.4? I'll
Yeah.
give this a 3.5.
Portnoy over here.
3.6 maybe.
All right, Nims, give me a number, Kamar.
Love to, Matty. Yeah, I mean, I didn't like seeing Tom Papa's name, but it worked out.
No, he was great this week.
7.
I actually didn't mind that one. Yeah, I thought
And
it,
I wanted them to have the war conversation versus some hard person or whatever. Like they negotiated. They really blew it on the soccer riot commentary, but otherwise.
well, before we get to Nims, I just want to quickly say that sometimes these Tom Pop episodes are good because it's not there. We know there's no specific reason he's going, as in he's
have a
not.
tuna fish sandwich.
Trying to sell
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah, but even then, he's not an expert in, like, he's just a fellow comedian, so they can really talk about anything, and that's where you usually get some of the topics that we're, like, looking for, if you will.
No
So-
one's tied.
Precisely. They're not, yeah. Anyway, sorry, Nims.